Good morning. I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now and listen carefully, because what I am about to share could change the strength in your legs, the steadiness in your steps, and the way you move through every single day from this moment on. Most people think muscle loss in the legs begins when they stop exercising, or when age simply catches up with them. But there is another reason, quieter and far more common, and it starts before breakfast. It starts in those first morning hours when your body is either rebuilding your muscles or slowly breaking them down. Today I want to show you how one simple morning eating habit can help protect the muscles in your legs, support your balance, improve your endurance, and help you stay active and independent for much longer than most people imagine. And yes, I am speaking very directly on purpose, because too many adults wait until the weakness becomes obvious. They wait until climbing stairs feels harder, until getting out of a chair takes effort, until their legs feel tired after a short walk, until their confidence begins to disappear one step at a time. By then, they think it is too late. It is not too late. I am your doctor, and I want you to hear this clearly. Weak legs are not always just a normal part of getting older. In many cases, they are a signal that your muscles are not getting what they need early enough in the day. A signal that your body has been spending too many mornings in a depleted state. A signal that the first food you eat may be helping your muscles recover, or quietly allowing them to shrink. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something personal. How old are you today, and what is one activity you still want to keep doing with strong, reliable legs? Maybe it is walking around your neighborhood without fear. Maybe it is traveling, gardening, standing in the kitchen long enough to cook for your family, playing with grandchildren, or simply getting up from bed and feeling stable instead of stiff and uncertain. Hold that answer in your mind, because everything we talk about today is about protecting that freedom. Now let us get into the real issue. During the night, your body goes for hours without food. While you sleep, you are fasting. That means by morning your body is looking for fuel. If you wake up and keep delaying food, or if the first thing you consume is nothing but coffee, sugar, or refined carbohydrates, your body can remain in a breakdown state for even longer. And one of the places where that loss shows up most clearly is in your legs. Why the legs? Because they contain some of the largest and most important muscles in your body. Your legs carry you, steady you, lift you, and protect you from falls. They help you stand upright, climb, bend, turn, and move through your day with confidence. But they are also vulnerable. When the body does not get enough quality protein, minerals, and energy early in the day, leg muscles often pay the price. At first, it may feel like a little heaviness. Then it becomes slower walking, weaker balance, tight calves, shaky stairs, sore knees from compensation, and the growing habit of using your hands to push yourself up from a chair. This is exactly why your morning meal matters more than most people realize. Breakfast is not just about filling your stomach. It is a signal to your body. It tells your system whether to continue breaking tissue down or begin building it back up. And if you choose the right food, especially within the first hour after waking, you give your muscles the raw material they need to repair, maintain strength, and keep you moving with far more confidence. So what is the food I want you to focus on first? Eggs. Plain, familiar, ordinary eggs. Not an expensive powder, not a miracle supplement, not a trendy product wrapped in promises. Just whole eggs, prepared simply and eaten consistently in the morning. Eggs are one of the most effective foods for supporting muscle maintenance because they provide high-quality protein along with leucine, one of the key amino acids your muscles rely on to trigger repair and rebuilding. And for many adults, that makes a meaningful difference. But I do not want you to think this is just about protein in a general sense. The reason eggs work so well in the morning is that they help interrupt the overnight breakdown state. They give your body complete protein in an easy form. They also provide nutrients like vitamin B12, choline, selenium, and, in the yolk, vitamin D, all of which support nerve function, energy metabolism, and better muscle communication. In other words, eggs do not just feed the muscles. They support the system that helps those muscles work properly. That matters. Because muscle strength is not only about size, it is also about coordination. Your brain has to send clean, fast signals to your legs. Your nerves have to carry those messages well. Your muscles have to contract, stabilize, and release at the right moment. When that system is undernourished, your legs can feel clumsy, weak, or unreliable even before severe muscle loss becomes obvious. That is one reason some people say, "I do not feel pain, but I do not trust my legs the way I used to." Nutrition plays a role in that. Now think about how many people start the day. A piece of toast, a sweet pastry, sugary cereal, or no food at all, maybe just coffee, and the promise that they will eat later. The problem is that later often comes too late. Hours pass, energy dips, blood sugar fluctuates, muscles remain underfed, and by the time a proper meal arrives, the body has already spent much of the morning without the building blocks it needed most. This pattern, repeated day after day, can quietly chip away at strength. I want you to imagine 2 different mornings. In the first, you wake up, drink coffee, rush into the day, and eat very little until late morning. In the second, you wake up, hydrate, and eat 2 eggs, with something nourishing on the side within the first hour. One morning extends breakdown, the other begins repair. One morning drains you slowly, the other supports you steadily. Over time, those mornings create very different legs, very different energy, and very different futures. And if you are thinking, can something this simple really matter that much? The answer is yes, because the body responds to repeated signals. It responds to habits. It responds to consistency far more than intensity. You do not need a perfect lifestyle to help your legs. You need the right basics repeated often enough that your body can finally catch up and start working for you instead of against you. A strong morning meal is one of those basics, and eggs are one of the easiest places to start. Let me tell you about someone very much like many people watching right now. A man in his late 60s had started noticing that his legs felt strangely tired in the morning. He was not bedridden. He was not severely ill, but something had changed. He moved slower when he first stood up. He hesitated on stairs. He avoided long walks because his legs felt heavy halfway through. At night, he sometimes dealt with calf tightness, and each month his confidence seemed to shrink along with his strength. When we looked closely at his routine, one pattern stood out immediately. He was skipping real breakfast almost every day. Coffee first, sometimes nothing else for hours, then maybe toast or something convenient later. He assumed that because he was not overeating, he was doing fine. But his muscles were underfed where it mattered most, so he made one change first. He began eating eggs every morning, paired with a more balanced breakfast. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just consistently. Within a few weeks, he noticed that standing up felt easier. He felt steadier during his first walk of the day. The nighttime tightness eased. He was not transformed overnight, but he was improving, and that improvement motivated him. He kept going. The point is not that eggs are magic. The point is that the body often responds when you finally give it what it has been missing. And for many adults trying to protect leg muscle, the missing piece begins with the first meal. So how should you eat eggs for the best effect? Keep it simple. 2 whole eggs in the morning is a strong starting point for many people. Boiled eggs are excellent. Scrambled eggs work well too, especially if you cook them gently and avoid drowning them in unhealthy oils. You can pair them with sautéed spinach, tomatoes, plain oatmeal, avocado, or Greek yogurt on the side, depending on your appetite and health needs. The goal is not complexity. The goal is to create a breakfast that supplies protein, steady energy, and real nourishment. Now, there is something else important here. Eggs work even better when you stop pairing them with the exact habits that are weakening your legs. If you eat eggs but still load the rest of your breakfast with sugar, you blunt some of the benefit. If you eat eggs at noon instead of in the morning, you miss the timing advantage. If you eat eggs one day and skip breakfast the next 4 days, you lose the power of consistency. This is why I want you to think of eggs as part of a morning strategy, not a random food. That strategy begins the moment you wake up. First, hydrate. Even mild dehydration can contribute to fatigue, poor circulation, and muscle cramps. Then, within the first hour, eat a breakfast built around muscle support. Eggs are the anchor. Add a source of fiber or slow carbohydrates if your body tolerates them well. Add minerals through foods like leafy greens or a small portion of fruit. Keep the meal steady, not sugary. Keep it satisfying, not excessive. Your legs do not need perfection. They need support. And if you are someone who says, "I am never hungry in the morning," I understand. Many people feel that way after years of coffee-first habits or late dinners. But remember, lack of morning hunger does not mean your muscles do not need nutrition. Sometimes it simply means your routine has trained your appetite to ignore the signals. Start small if you need to. 1 boiled egg, then 2. A few bites of yogurt on the side, a half portion at first. The important thing is to begin teaching your body that morning is a time for rebuilding, not depletion. There are also people watching who may wonder whether the yolk should be avoided. In most cases, the yolk is where much of the nutritional value lives. That is where you find choline, fat-soluble nutrients, and several compounds that support the nervous system and overall health. Unless your personal clinician has told you otherwise for a specific reason, skipping the yolk means skipping part of what makes the egg so useful. Whole eggs generally do more for morning muscle support than egg whites alone. Of course, eggs are not the only helpful breakfast food, but they are one of the best first choices because they are accessible, practical, and easy to repeat. And repetition matters. Your muscles do not care about rare healthy days. They respond to patterns. A strong breakfast once a month will not protect your legs. A strong breakfast most mornings can. That is how you gradually support better balance, stronger walking, easier standing, and more reliable energy through the day. Small habits, repeated, become physical outcomes. I also want you to pay attention to the warning signs your legs may already be giving you. Do your calves cramp at night? Do your thighs burn faster when climbing stairs? Do your knees feel unstable even though the real issue may be weakness above and below the joint? Do you sway slightly when standing still? Do you grab furniture or walls more than you used to? These may not be random annoyances. They may be messages telling you that your muscles need better support, starting first thing in the morning. And please do not make the mistake of waiting for a dramatic decline before you act. Most muscle loss does not arrive all at once. It happens gradually, quietly, and convincingly enough that people explain it away. They say, "I am just slowing down. I am just getting older. I am just tired." But if you interrupt that pattern early, even with something as basic as a better breakfast, you may be able to hold on to strength, stability, and independence far longer than you think. That is worth taking seriously. There is another benefit people often notice when they start eating a more protein-rich breakfast built around eggs. They feel more stable overall. Their appetite becomes easier to manage. Mid-morning crashes become less severe. They reach for fewer sugary snacks. And that matters because wild swings in energy often reduce movement, and reduced movement accelerates weakness. Stronger mornings tend to create more active days. More active days help preserve stronger legs. The cycle can work in your favor once you begin it. So here is the practical takeaway. If you want to help stop muscle loss in your legs, start by changing what happens after you wake up. Do not let your body drift unfed through the morning. Do not rely on sugar and caffeine alone. Give your muscles a reason to stay. Give them amino acids, steady energy, and nutrients they can actually use. For many people, that begins with 2 whole eggs eaten within the first hour of the day as part of a simple, balanced breakfast. If you want to go one step further, pair that breakfast with a few minutes of gentle morning movement. Nothing extreme. Stand up slowly. March in place. Do a few supported calf raises. Practice lifting 1 foot for balance while holding a chair if needed. When you combine nourishment with movement, you give your muscles both the fuel and the signal to stay engaged. That combination can be powerful over time, especially for adults who want to remain mobile, steady, and independent. I want you to remember something important. You do not rebuild confidence by waiting. You rebuild it by acting while the problem is still manageable. You rebuild it with simple choices that are repeated before weakness takes more from you. And sometimes the choice that matters most is the first one you make each day. The first drink, the first bite, the first decision about whether you will nourish your body or postpone what it needs again. Your legs are listening to those choices, even if you are not. So starting tomorrow morning, make this easy on yourself. Keep eggs in the house. Decide the night before how you will prepare them. Remove friction. Make the healthy choice the simple choice. If mornings are busy, boil several eggs ahead of time. If appetite is low, start with one and build from there. If you live with someone you care about, encourage them to do it with you. Strength is easier to protect when a habit becomes part of daily life instead of an occasional effort. And if today's message has reached you at the exact moment you needed it, do not ignore that. Let this be the day you stop assuming your legs will take care of themselves. Let this be the day you recognize that muscle loss often starts silently, but support can start just as quietly. One breakfast, one better decision, one steady habit repeated over time. That is how many people begin to feel stronger, safer, and more capable again. I would love for you to reflect on this for yourself. Which morning habit has been hurting your legs the most? Skipping breakfast, relying on coffee, eating too much sugar, or simply waiting too long to eat? And what is the first change you are willing to make? For many people, the answer should be simple. Eat eggs in the morning. Eat them consistently. Give your legs a fighting chance to stay strong. This is Senior Diet Coach, reminding you that protecting your independence does not always begin with something dramatic. Sometimes it begins with breakfast. Sometimes it begins with 2 eggs, a glass of water, and the decision to support your muscles before the day pulls you in every other direction. Take care of your legs. Take care of your balance. Take care of the freedom that lets you live life on your own terms. And start with what you eat tomorrow morning. One more thing before we finish. Do not underestimate how quickly small morning improvements can add up. A week of better breakfasts can make your mornings feel steadier. A month can make walking feel easier. Several months can help you protect habits, routines, and independence that once felt like they were slipping away. That is why I want you to stay consistent, not perfect. If you miss a day, return the next morning. If your appetite is small, begin with what you can manage. If your energy has been low, trust that the body often responds gradually before the change becomes obvious. Keep giving your legs the materials they need. Keep choosing nourishment before the day gets busy. Keep reminding yourself that strength is not only built in a gym. Sometimes it is built quietly, at your kitchen table, with the first meal of the day and the decision to keep showing up for yourself. That is how independence lasts, one morning at a time.